Welcome back to Fred Talk. I am your host, Freddie Valoy. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. If you know, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. Eid Mubarak. I think Eid already passed. You just Muslim, Buddhist, whatever, bro. Yeah, everybody got it. Let's just all have a good time this year. We had a good year, hopefully. We'll see. We'll see what 2023 is going to look like. How's your 2023 lining up? You already making plans? You already making moves? I just want to give you one piece of advice going into the new year. And that's that the true new year doesn't start until the second Monday of January. Okay? At least that's how I like to think. That way you don't be too hard on yourself, you know? A lot of us are still getting over a hangover on January 2nd, you know? Out there just hurting, just looking for hydration. You did a little bit too much drugs. You got to, whatever it is. That's why I feel like the second Monday gives you time to really get 2022 out of the way. It's like the presidential inauguration, right? He's not the president on January 1st. It's like January 20th. So if the president could take until the 20th of the new year to start his presidency, you can wait till the second Monday. It ain't that big a deal. Today I want to talk about the Friendzone. I know, listen, I'm 36, and I think a lot of my listeners are in their 30s right now, and by now you should be aware of the friend zone, at least enough to stay out of it, okay? Now, and I think I have some listeners in the mid-20s, whatever. You guys still have some room to fuck up, and that's cool, but still, you want to listen to this, all right? People in their 30s still in the friend zone. Before I start this, I just want to say, that's what you get. That's what you get. You ain't speak up for yourself, and now look at you. In the zone of the friend. This out there. And this is mostly for men, because there is a friend zone for women. It's just a different level. Right? Because a dude gets in the friend zone, he might be trying to side door his way into some pussy right now, right? He's like, oh, I'm going to act like a friend. I'm going to be there. Blah, blah, blah. It's creepy. Don't do it, fellas. I'm telling you, it is not the way to do it. Just be up front. And cut your losses early. If you are in the friend zone right now, make your move. Respectfully make your move. Go in for the kiss. Next time you're hanging out with the person in person, tell them how you feel and just take the hit. You got rejection sensitivity, and you're trying to like ease the pain of what it is. Don't do that to yourself. I'm telling you. You'll learn a lot more from staying out of the friend zone than you will. Actually, you probably will learn quite a bit in the friend zone. And the number one lesson I would think would be to stand up for yourself. Have a conversation. If you like somebody, don't be weird. It's creepy. To me, it's like I don't know. It's sneaky. And I've talked about this on a podcast a lot. Men should not be sneaky unless you work in the CIA. And those guys are fucked up on another level. You don't want to be that. No man should be sneaking around, should be lying. And if you are trying to fuck someone but trying to pretend they're your friends, it's a huge lie. It's a huge deception. And here's another thing. They know. Dude, women have like evolution-wise, they've evolved to like feel shit and figure it out before men. I'm telling you, bro. That's why if a woman asks you a question, a lot of times she already knows the answer, though. She just wants to see if you are going to lie. Because women are playing chess and men are playing Nintendo, okay? And it's just what it is. There's different benefits and positives being a man and a woman. And for them, this is where they got us. So I'm telling you, be straight up. Be straight up. In today's world where everybody's lying, everybody's on Instagram using filters, everyone's embellishing their accomplishments or lying about accomplishments, the truth, a little bit of the truth goes a very long way. So if you are in the friend zone right now, number one, good for you. That's what you get for not speaking up for yourself. And two, make your move. Cut your losses, man, and take that lesson from the friend zone. Do not fall in the friend zone again. Friend zone for guy is he's doing stuff with the girl, but what he really wants is sex and romantic love. Maybe even most of the time, probably just sex. And the girl usually knows, and she's going to use him for his time. Right? If you're the guy that she texts on the weekday when she has to run errands, or You got to fix something, blah, blah, blah. And you find yourself getting frustrated and resentful. You got to get out of that friend zone. The woman version of the friend zone is after the sex has already happened. You know that phase where you're fucking, maybe you were planning to be fuck buddies? Women do this too. They sneak their way in. They try to backdoor their way into some dick. And that's okay. It's whatever. We're all doing what we got to do to survive. It's just as long as we learn from our mistakes, right? Women they already give them the pussy. They put out, they gave you an advance on the pussy. Some of them, you know, you have sex, and then all of a sudden you're in that weird phase, and then you get the conversation of, so what are we now? And the guy's like, yo, I thought we were just friends. I told you, I told you already, blah, blah, blah. That's the friend zone for women, where she wants the relationship, and the guy just got the pussy, but the guy already got the pussy, and he's still getting it, and now she's still somewhat emotionally entangled, so it's hard to get out. So if you're a lady in that position, get out. Pack your pussy up and go, baby. All right? That thing is too valuable for you to just be throwing it out there on the hopes that Connor or fucking Darren are going to, you know, commit to you long term. So there's two types of friend zones. It just depends on where you're at. And I want to talk to the friend zoners, because I feel like no matter who you are, if you're out there dating, you've probably have been friend zoned. It don't matter if you're a 10, a 6, a millionaire, a fucking broke motherfucker. It don't matter. The friend zoners, they have another duty of not putting people in the friend zone. If you're a woman and you can tell a guy has feelings for you, he wants to have sex with you, and you're just using him for his time, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Same way for the dude, where you're just being her friend and pretending to be a shoulder to cry on for pussy. It's the same thing. You want to get out of that. I looked up a couple YouTube videos on the friend zone and getting out, and I didn't learn anything new. I think the best way out is cut your losses and get the hell out of there, right? Then the other thing is, and this is where it gets tricky, a good way to get out of the friend zone would be to where am I going with this? Good way to get out of the friend zone. Cut your losses. Oh, distance yourself from the relationship. Now, the weird part about this, about distancing yourself from the relationship, is that now a lot of times you're just playing a game. You're like, let me distance because distance makes the heart grow fonder, right? There we go. Flowery, poetic shit that sounds cool. And it is true to a point, especially in today's day and age where you got a lot of people that are like, because of the nature of social media, they're looking for that attention, right? We've all been with those people where like you're chatting with them on social media, but plans never get made. That's because you have fulfilled their duty. You're their digital friend zone. They just want some responses, some heart emojis, so that their brain delivers some dopamine, and they're like, damn, I'm good. I'm going to go back to watching Dahmer. I'm going to be at Netflix. I'm going to text a couple girls, or I'm going to text a couple guys, get some attention. Hey, when we hanging out? And then you go blank. Or you answer with soon. You don't get a direct response. Distance yourself from the person. But I don't agree with that. If you distance yourself from the person because you genuinely are like, you know what, this ain't gonna work, we'll just be friends and I'm gonna be myself. That's it. That works. But if you're distancing yourself for the end game of like, well, I'm gonna distance myself and this is going to cause her to blah, blah, blah. And within 3 months, that's weird. Again, you're being diabolical. You're being Machiavellian about the pussy. You cannot do that. Okay. Same thing for women. Well, I'm going to post I'm going to post a picture of whatever to get him jealous, you know, with some dudes out. And that shit works, dog. That shit works. I'm telling you, it'll spite. There's a territorial thing in men, where when they see like the girl they just messed with or the girl just dated, the first guy they see on their Instagram, they're like, oh, don't let it be with a group of guys either, because that's when a guy's imagination goes crazy. And if it's her with two guys, it's like, yep, she's fucking both of them. They just fucked her before the picture. They're going to fuck after the picture. She's a whore. That's what dudes get crazy like that, bro. That's their version of crazy. You know, women get crazy too, but yeah, don't do that. The best way to get out of the friend zone is be honest about your intentions. And it's going to take some time. All this stuff, it takes repetitions. Anything difficult It's just going to take a ton of repetitions to get good at. And relationships, people forget that about relationships, and relationships are arguably the hardest thing to figure out and to get to a place where you're like, okay, I understand myself. I understand what I want. You know, it takes time, and people get so bummed out when a date doesn't work out. Dog, look at it like sales. Most of the time it's going to be rejection, especially if you're looking for the right person. If you find yourself to be like a unique, oh, I'm different and this and that, you should expect to find love later than everybody else because you think differently, blah, blah, blah. So by definition, stick to your principles. If you're so different, endure it. There's no rest for the wicked, all right? Oh, the friend zone. I got out of the friend zone one time. It was in middle school. This is a crazy story, actually. 7th grade, towards the end of 7th grade. And by the way, I'm young here, but still, it still plays out, okay? End of 7th grade, there was this girl in our school, probably the hottest girl in the school. She was like, you know, in middle school, it's like first girl to get tits, and she had an ass, blah, blah, blah. Somehow I was able to, like, I had a crush on her, and you know, you do the middle school thing. Her friend was like, oh, Ruthie, or fuck, I don't want to say her name. RS likes you. I'm going to call her RS. RS likes you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh shit, really? The hottest girl in school likes me. And I don't know if it was like a prank or something like that or whatever. So I was like, yeah, I want to be your boyfriend. I want to be your boyfriend. And and she was like, okay. And then her friend came back. It was like a messenger thing. It was so weird. Messenger thing. She was like, okay, she wants to date you. She wants to talk to you in the morning when you guys get to school. By lunchtime the next day, that girl had broken up with me. I was like, fuck. Thought I had it without even talking to her. But we were using the value system of middle school then, right? That's all it was. She broke up with me. And I was hurt. And I was like, damn, this sucks, whatever. But, you know, 7th grade, summer goes. 8th grade rolls in. I'm in the same class with RS now. Same class. She's sitting dead in front of me. Dead in front of me. I was in one of the back rows. She was in front of me. And throughout that year, we developed an awesome friendship. Because in my head, I was like, all right, she don't like me. She's the hottest. I've suffered from low self-esteem for a long time. And by then I was like, oh, well, she doesn't even like me. We already broke up. I could just be friends with her. Like, I can just be friends with her. With side note, I know a lot of men don't think like this, but I really do find it valuable to have a platonic relationship with the other gender. It just gives you, I think it just rounds out the perspective a lot better, and you can understand people. I think that works with anything, race, fucking geopolitical things, whatever. That's the only reason. I don't have an abiding urge to travel. I don't care. I really don't care for travel whatsoever. But the only reason I want to do it is because I know from the people that I've talked to and witnessed that it does help out your perspective. And that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to have a nice, well-rounded perspective in my life. So if you can do it and you're not a fucking complete animal, be friends with a couple of ladies. And the way it works is because, like, I like the women that I find that are close friends of mine, they're very honest with me. They tell me what their experiences with men, shit like that. We have sex talk, very respectfully sex talk. I ask them questions, and it's fascinating to me. I've always been like that since middle school. I've been allowed to, like, hang out with the girls. I felt like that meme of all the sheep, and then there was like a cat and like a sheep's thing, and it was like day 42. They don't know. That's kind of how it felt. So RS is sitting in front of me, the whole class. And we become fucking awesome friends. I was just making her laugh. It was perfect. It just goes to show you, if you can be yourself, that's what attracts people. Not like the version of what a guy is supposed to look like picking up a girl. Like, hey, what's up, girl? Oh my gosh. You ever see that? Like, there's friends, like I said, I'm friends with a lot of girls, and there's some guy friends I have, close friends, that I cannot invite over if I have these girls over. Because if they're hot, whatever, their whole fucking demeanor changes. You know, they go from haha, yeah, to like, oh yeah, what's up? So what do you do? You know, like, I'm like, God damn, nigga, what are you? The whole energy changes. You can tell his fuck meter's on. It's just, it gets weird. So you got to know when to blend social circles. And I guess I'll do that. I'll cover that on another podcast. But the point here is I was just being myself. I was treating her like one of the boys, making silly jokes, making her laugh. I taught her how to do a rear naked choke. For those of you that don't know, that's when you're behind someone, you put your arms around their neck and you squeeze and they pass out. And in middle school, I knew how to do it. Like I could, within 3 seconds, I could like have somebody pass out from choking them out rear naked from the back. Is that like that for the listeners, right? Arm around the neck. I taught her how to do that in science class. I remember Mr. Grillo's class. I was like, all right, so you want to put your hands here. You want to tighten here. Cause people think you choke you don't want to choke the windpipe. You want to block off these 2 arteries here. And she did it. And in 2 seconds I was out to the point where I fell out of my chair and fucking hit my head on the desk. And she was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I woke up. I was like, you wake up like 3 seconds later. I was like, oh my God. She like, everybody was laughing and she was mortified. She was like, oh my gosh. So I taught her how to fucking choke somebody out. And I was a test dummy. It was like that kind of relationship. So much fun. So much fun. And somewhere throughout the year, we were talking about like, girlfriend and boyfriend stuff, not with us, but just like whatever. And I remember telling her, I was like, I feel like I'm the kind of guy that grows on people. Like you might not like me at first, romantically, but I feel like I end up growing on people. And that was just like a throwaway comment. Honestly, I think I got that from a TV show at the time. Probably Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World. No, Sean, because Sean wasn't a grow on you guy. He was like the hot guy girls just liked off the bat. So maybe that wasn't it, but I know I ripped it off of a TV show to sound like, yeah, I grow on people. I said that somewhere towards the middle of the year. And then at the end of the year, I had a date to the middle school prom. Date to the middle school prom. I was dancing with this girl, having a good time. I think I don't know if RS was allowed to have a date. I think she had to go with her sister. She had strict parents. And then at the fucking middle school prom, RS tells me how much she loves me. And she's like, over this past year, you're just making me laugh so much. I'm always so happy to see you whenever you're not, if you miss class, and I didn't miss class much. I used to get perfect attendance like a motherfucker. When you're not there, my stomach hurts. I get like that. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, we're at the prom right now. I got a date here. Like, and maybe, she saw me with another girl. So she got like the territorial thing, right? It's a young lady. So we all know how that goes. And then I went back to dance with my date. And then RS came and like broke us up. Like, you fucking, this is, not gonna lie, I felt like a badass then. I was like, oh shit, I got 2 hot girls, the hottest girl in the school, and they were both top 10 girls in the middle school. And I felt like a little pimp. I'm not gonna lie, all right? But I got out of the friend zone without even knowing, bro. Blindsided. So I felt like a pimp. It felt good. But it was weird because I was in the point where I was like, yo, she's my friend. It was just like, I just had good friend times with her and it was very odd. After that, we tried to keep in touch. We went to different high schools. But you know how that goes, man. You get thrown, you each get thrown into 2 different jungles and then there's just a whole new experience. It's like trying to keep a girlfriend after, when you go to college and you're high school sweethearts, man, those are, whew. I wonder how those are going these days. But yeah, she actually ended up dying from a heart condition somewhere in our freshman year of high school. And I was asked to go to her funeral and I didn't go because I was a kid and I just wasn't ready for that. I remember it was like the place was like the funeral home or whatever was like a mile from my house. It was sad. I still think about her. I do. Yeah. This is a clip-in, by the way, so if the rhythm is weird, I just had to add this part. I forgot that part of the story, which I felt like was important. So this is what happens when you got out of the friend zone. Somebody might die. That's the curse. It's like the curse of the monkey paw. She would have liked that joke. She liked fucked up jokes. I used to say fucked up jokes. I would fuck with people. I was entertaining her. I was her jester, maybe. That was what it was. And she fell in love with a clown. And I'm still a clown, RS, if you're up there watching. And the takeaway there is just like, be yourself. Be like, Genuinely let the relationship go and see how it plays out. Either way, it's going to work out for you. That right there is going to be a win-win, because either they might come to their senses, but you got to do it genuinely. You can't do it as a strategy. The women will feel the strategy, bro. They are strategists naturally. But I think if you can genuinely let go of the relationship and go, all right, this is getting weird. I'm just kind of fucking hanging around. I'm being used for my time. If you're a lady, you're probably being used for your pussy, but you want the relationship. You done gave him an advance. You done gave him an advance on the coochie, and now you're trying to collect, and it ain't working out, right? He's running from the debt collector. Get yourself genuinely out of there and just see how it plays out. Because either you're going to meet somebody else that's probably going to be even better than the last person that wasn't using you, or this person's going to be like, oh, wow, this guy's fucking awesome. Something's changed about him. And all that's changed is that you've gone back to your regular self, not the type that's in hunting mode. There is a feeling that comes to like a situation when someone wants something or they're going after something. The vibe changes. And if you're an empath, you can probably feel that. And a lot of women are. So I implore you, if you are in the friend zone, get out of there. You better than this, especially if you're in your 30s. All right. And I know everybody's situation is different. Like one of my close friends, she got married in her early 20s. And then that ended in her early 30s or something like that. So she didn't get to go through the weird, like young relationship person when she should have. So now she kind of went through a truncated version of that in her 30s. You know, the pain of getting fucked with, getting lied to, getting cheated on. I've been cheated on enough times now where I'm like, I don't think it's going to hurt me as much moving forward as it was in the past, where I became a complete psycho, fucking calling her, fucking trying to figure out what party she's at and who she fucking, because that's like a big guy thing or whatever. Get out of the friend zone. You're better than that. Be honest. I'm telling you, it is so addicting when you figure out who you are and you can communicate that honestly, even though it comes off a little weird at first, because you got to figure out you get nervous, you get stressed out. So your tone, your voice register is different. Same way a guy's voice register, a lot of guys' voice register is different when they're trying to court a woman or trying to fuck her, whatever you want to call it. Same thing happens here. But once it's a very short hump. It won't take more than 3 good times of you being honest to be like, oh fuck. And the biggest reason for that is the person's reaction. You can almost feel in the moment you guys connecting even more, because this person's like, oh wow, this is an honest person I'm confronting, and you cannot beat compassionate honesty. You can't. I did a show one time with a dude, and it went haywire. I was hosting. And during the last set, there was a crowd heckler. They literally shut the show down. It was in a place where they're a little content restrictive, and they just started playing the music. And then afterwards, I was like, "Hey man, good show." And he was like, "I'm so sorry about what happened earlier." He just straight up was like, "I wimped out, man. There was no way I knew how to stop it." He was the showrunner. He was like, "But I got scared, man, and I couldn't do anything." I was like, dude, no worries. Especially a dude admitting to me that he was scared, late 20s dude with the conflict. I'm not going to mock him. I'm not going to do anything. You were honest, bro. I get it, man. Not everybody's built to resolve conflict in the moment like that when it comes in out of nowhere, especially when you're in a situation where you're expecting like happiness and good times. Like, conflict just kind of blindsides you at that point. But you can't. Compassionate honesty is undefeated. So takeaway here. Get out of the friend zone, be honest, and don't be weird. Guys, share my stuff. Follow me on Instagram, at Freddie Valoy. I ask very fun poll questions. I got really good response from yesterday's question was, when you make a sandwich, do you put your preferred condiment on both sides of the sandwich? Obviously the inside, right? Right? Do you put mayo on the top bottom and the bottom top of the bun? You know what I'm talking about? The inside? Or one. And it's most people are saying both sides. I was a one-sider, and then because of the poll, tried both sides. And obviously more condiments is good. I'm a saucy guy, so it makes sense. But I didn't even think about it. I've been one-sided condiments my whole life. And look at that. You reach out to the world and you ask a few questions and you get a different perspective. Guys, stay out of friend zone. This is FredTalk. Bye.